The 6th generation iPad mini, launched by Apple lately, has been redesigned from the ground up and now has a bigger display, the A15 Bionic CPU, and more. With the removal of the home button, the addition of Touch ID to the power button on top, and the addition of stereo speakers, the iPad mini is now almost identical in appearance to the 4th generation iPad Air that will be released in 2020. Should you choose the newer iPad mini or the larger screen iPad Air, given that the former wasn't introduced until September 2020 and the latter is now obsolete? Which of these two iPads is better for you? We've got the answer. iPad Air vs iPad mini, a comparison. Design, a back 12MP wide camera, and a USB-C connector are just a few of the many similarities between the iPad mini and iPad Air. Similarities: edgeless, all-screen, industrial design, full lamination, anti-reflective coating, fingerprint resistance, 500 nits maximum brightness, true tone, and P3 broad color make up the liquid retina display, 64-bit desktop class architecture, 4 GB of RAM, and a neural engine are all features of the series Bionic OC. 12MP f/1.8 wide back camera with 3x video zoom, 1080p slow-mo video at 120fps or 240fps, time-lapse with stabilization, and 4K video recording at up to 60fps. Retina flash, smart HDR3, cinematic video stabilization, and 1080p video recording for the front-facing camera. Support for the Apple Pencil 2nd generation. Long battery life, up to 10 hours. USB Type-C connector. Mode for stereo sound with 2 external speakers in a landscape orientation. Compatible with Bluetooth 5.0 and the latest wireless networking standard, Wi-Fi 6. Wireless fidelity options include Wi-Fi alone and Wi-Fi plus cellular configurations. You may choose between 64 GB and 256 GB of storage. Apple's detailed examination of the iPad's specs reveals that the two tablets share many of the tablet's most vital components. Still, there are a lot of critical distinctions between the iPad mini and iPad Air that are worth emphasizing, such as the performance of the A-series CPU, the quality of the front-facing cameras, the availability of a keyboard dock, and more. Specifications on the format and scale. The iPad mini is 52.2mm shorter and 43.7mm slimmer than the iPad Air, making this the most noticeable physical difference between the two devices. This means that the iPad mini can be held by the average person from corner to corner with a single hand. It weighs in at a mere 163 grams, 0.36 pounds, making it lighter than the iPad Air by a significant margin. The iPad mini is significantly more portable than the iPad Air because of its tiny size and lightweight, making it possible to carry it in a purse or a big pocket. Even while the iPad Air is still rather portable because to its tiny profile and lightweight, it is not quite as practical for usage on the move as the iPad mini, which revolutionizes iPad mobility. The iPad mini is a nice size for youngsters and may be more convenient for adults who want to use their devices on the go without drawing attention to themselves than the iPad Air. Which size is better depends on the specific circumstances in which you will be using it. You can get the iPad mini and iPad Air in a wide variety of colors. iPad minis come in silver, space gray, purple, and starlight. iPad Airs in silver, space gray, rose gold, green, and sky blue. Keep in mind that, with the exception of space gray, the color options for each device are distinct from one another and may affect your decision if you have your heart set on a certain hue. Cameras. The iPad mini and the iPad Air both have 12-megapixel cameras on the back. However, the iPad mini has enhanced dynamic range and can capture 1080p video at a variety of frame rates. The iPad Air can only shoot at 60 frames per second. The iPad mini now has a true tone quad LED flash that can be found on its back. The two iPads' front-facing cameras are one of the most distinguishing features. The iPad mini has a superior 12MP/2.4 ultra-wide camera with 2x zoom out and improved dynamic range. Comparatively, the iPad Air's 7MP/2.2 FaceTime HD camera is a considerable step down in quality.